Hey everyone, it's Carrie. How are you? I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and that your travels were safe. We are experiencing a little bit of a lull in the middle of our Thanksgiving weekend snowstorm. We started snowing last night and we have a little bit of a break right now, but it's supposed to come back and start again in a little while. So I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and was able to travel safely wherever you were going. I'm here today. I want to talk about the one thing that I think that you should make sure you are doing before the end of the year, before the end of the decade. So I'm going to take a moment to introduce myself. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Carrie Miller. I'm a Feng Shui expert, and I show ambitious women how to arrange their spaces so that they are set up to help them succeed and have more joy and ease and prosperity in their life. And I think that this is a powerful time right now, both in terms of the new year, the season of change, and also in terms of Feng Shui and the fact that the season is changing, the elements are changing. And astrologically, it's a significant time. I've been doing a lot of reading up on some really cool astrological alignments that are happening in the next couple of weeks. The new year and especially the new decade, like it's a real big opportunity to slow down and think about what has worked and what hasn't worked and what you want to do moving forward, and to really reassess all of the things. And to think about what you would transform moving forward in the future. And these, some of the astrological readings that I've been doing, I wasn't doing readings, I was reading about astrology, are really signifying this huge potential for transformation in the coming months. So not only is there just this natural New Year's transition where there's this desire to kind of rethink things and maybe do things different in the coming months, there are all of these energies lining up, like astrologically, environmentally, energetically around us, that are really supporting that transformation, that transition, that new awakening that we are all feeling called to have right now. I know that it's kind of funny because last night I was thinking about doing this video and what I wanted to say, and thinking about my own life and the coming year for me and the past years for me and what I wanted to be different. And I was thinking, I really love all of that I have, but I want it all to be easier and to be more fulfilling, like to be more joyful and fun and easy, and not as much not as much work. And so it was interesting that when I read through some of that information about how the astrological energies are supporting us, that it really talked about this being a year that was, I'm just looking at my notes, that would be supportive of rekindling joy and passion in your spirit and in your soul. Hi Judy, how are you? I'm so glad that you're enjoying it. Yeah, so I just want you to know that this is like a huge potential moment right now. And it's really, I think a lot of us tend to kind of sleepwalk through life and just do the same old, and maybe not think that we're worthy of something different or something better or something deeper or richer. And a lot of times we might get to this point in the year, this point in the transitional energies, and think, I've already tried it, I've already done it, I've already failed at it. This is what it is what it is. I'm just going to go with what I have and keep plugging away. But I want you to know that the energy is totally different right now. You are being supported by unseen energies around you that will make all those differences and changes and new awakenings so much easier for you than they have been in the past. You are supported by the energy around you as we make this transition over the next couple of weeks and months. And so the shift is going to be easier. You're going to be supported to find a new path easier. But there's something you have to do in order to make that forward progression. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. It's really all there. It's all lined up to support you in switching gears and choosing a different path. And really, it can be effortless. Like, it's that powerful and potential right now. It can be effortless. But it won't be if you don't do this one thing. So let's talk about that. And this is the hard part, because it's the action, right? And it's the this one thing is all about reflecting on. I said that there was one thing, but there's an A and a B. Okay, so part A is to reflect and take a look back, and really clearly look back at the last year and the last 10 years, and just notice what happened, right? You want to pay attention to what the highs were. What felt really good? What was really fulfilling? What was really enriching? What were the moments that you wish you could repeat over and over and over again? And what do you want more of, right? You already had it. You just want more of it. It was that good. You just want to call in more and more of it. What were the lows, right? What were the things that didn't work and that you really want to let go of, right? What were the mistakes that you made? And this can be the hard part, right? Because it's hard to look back and admit mistakes and admit that you should have taken a different path, or admit that things could have gone differently. You got to remember that you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. But there's some peace to be made with those low points, and just some acknowledgement of what they were, because those will help you get really clear on what you want for the future. Take a look at what patterns you've noticed repeat, right? This is a great opportunity, because usually we only look back at like the last year. And I think a lot of people don't even do this reflection of the last year, right? I never did it. I honestly never really did it in depth until I became an entrepreneur and a business owner. And there's, coaches and professionals out there telling you need to look back at your year and see what worked and what didn't work in your business, so that you can plan moving forward. And so it was a leap for me to actually apply that to my whole life. And I've only been doing that probably, the last 5 years, who knows? But we try to avoid that. We tend to avoid that because it's hard to look at the repeating mistakes, or the repeating patterns, or the things that we just haven't put to bed yet. Sorry guys, getting little flicks here. So, what patterns keep repeating, right? Where it's a year. Usually we're looking back at a year. Right now we have the opportunity to look back at the whole past decade. So it gives us a bigger picture, a wider view of what has been going on. And maybe, you can see where shifts and changes have started to happen, or where, things have loosened up and eased up. What patterns have been in place and have been in play over and over and over again. This might be, a pattern around money, about not having enough, about never feeling like you can have what you want. It might be a pattern around love, about attracting the wrong kind of partner into your life, or not being able to connect within a relationship, or just having fear around connecting with somebody new. It could be patterns in health. It could be patterns in your work life, right? Always ending up working for a crappy boss, or always ending up being the person who's carrying all the weight while everybody else is getting the recognition while you're the one doing the work. Just notice what those patterns are for you over the last year, over the last decade, because now is the perfect opportunity to say, I'm done with those patterns. I'm ready to cut the cord on that. And notice also what needs to heal. Like, this is the reason for looking at these patterns. Like, you're repeating them because something hasn't been learned yet, or something hasn't been healed. And so it's time to acknowledge what it is that's keeping you in that circulating, that circle on that hamster wheel, that things keep happening in the same way. Again, we're in energies right now that easily allow you to leave those patterns behind, if you take the right steps. So what needs to heal? What have you not acknowledged is causing you to go back over and over again to visit? Is it a worthiness issue that relates to money or to relationships or to how you're treated at work? Is it some inner limiting beliefs that keep you stuck in the same patterns? It's really powerful to do that reflection and see. And it's the hard part. It's really the hard part of what I'm asking you to do today, but it's really worth it. And what I want you to think about in this part of step 1 is that this is just a bird's eye view. This isn't a time of getting really, really upset about it or beating yourself up about it. There's no judgment involved in this activity at all. It's really about noticing where you are versus where you'd like to be. That's really all it is. And noticing the things that have happened in your past that result in where you are, right? And just noticing them, paying attention to them, seeing what you can glean from the messages that those memories, that history gives to you. And also, this isn't the time to try to figure out how to make it different. It's not about that at all. This is about just simply noticing and paying attention and acknowledging. Sometimes all these patterns and pains just simply need to be acknowledged before they can dissipate, right? So just facing them head on and acknowledging that they were there, thanking them, right? Some experts will say to thank the challenges and release them, whatever that is. Really, it's not about figuring it out or figuring out how to fix it. It's just about seeing that it's there and that's what it is. And noticing that you want different. So you want something different, and that's all there is to it. So that's part 1, or part A, right? Part A of step number 1. And then I want you to think about, how do you want it to look and how do you want it to feel? This is part B. How do you want it to look? How do you want it to feel? How will it be different in a perfect world, right? In a place where you are 100% worthy, 100% loved, 100% in alignment with all the potential. Because that's where you're going to be because of the way energies are flowing. It really comes down to you deciding right now at the end, in the last month of this year, as we say goodbye to the last year and the last decade, that you are worthy of the dream. You are worth taking the time to sit down and dream about what you want, what your highest good is, what your highest potential is. You don't need to figure out how to get there. You don't need to be there tomorrow. You just need to do the dreaming part. And this part B is the fun part, right? The other stuff is a little bit of work, but this is really the fun part, the part you can play with. Dream about what you want to call into your life. Visualize about what your life will look like. Envision, allow visions to come to you about what the potential is. A lot of times we spend so much time creating the package that we want that we don't allow the universe and our guides to just kind of place potential, even higher potential there for us that we can't even see. Like solutions that we can't see, possibilities that we can't see, we don't make room to allow that in. But please, in this process, give yourself space to allow those other ideas and potentials to drop into your place of being, because you are probably meant for a lot more than you even realize at this point. It's about putting your desire out there right now, in this moment in time, with these energies circulating around us. It's about putting the energy out there about what you desire, what you want to call in, and then do nothing else. You don't have to do anything else in this moment. I love Feng Shui because it gives me a framework to do this kind of visualizing and planning and kind of review and assessment of where my life is at the moment. We look at 9 different life areas, 9 different parts of life. And for me, it's so much easier to break it up into those little chunks of life than it is to say, what do I want for life? What do I want to be when I grow up, right? It's really hard to take all the possibility and bring it down. But in Feng Shui, we're already working with the 9 life areas, and it becomes a great framework to do this activity from, this practice from. So if you look at each one of those 9 life areas, review each life area, look backwards and see, in this particular life area, where am I? What worked? What didn't work? What keeps coming up that needs to get, that I need to cut the cord on? What do I really, really want it to look like? How fulfilled do I feel now? How fulfilled, is the potential for it? And I want to give you those 9 life areas so that you can do that, because I really hope you'll go and you'll do this thought process, do a little bit. This is all about getting clear. That's the thing that we're doing here today, is getting clear about what is and what we want, and then sending that message out to the universe and allowing all those energies to shift all the puzzle pieces into place for us effortlessly. Like I said, effortlessly. So those 9 life areas that I look at are, I'm going to take a sip of water before I go into them. I usually start with career, and to me, that is fulfilling work, right? That I call it fulfilling work in my book. I don't call it career. It's about doing the thing that you love. Laurie says you've been doing this with the tarot, and no, you can break it up easier. Yeah, so the energies are in place for transformation and change, and stepping into ease of creating the life that you want. So it's all in place. So I really hope you'll do this activity of getting clear, because if you skip this activity, the universe doesn't know what to give you, right? And so you're leaving it wide open. You're leaving it to chance. And to me, Feng Shui has always been a practice of deliberate creation. It's really deliberate creation. And for me, it is using my surroundings to enforce the life that I deliberately want to create. My surroundings are a big part of aligning that energy for me. And that's why I love Feng Shui. And again, the 9 life areas make it such a huge potential for, for getting clear in a simpler way. So fulfilling work, the work that you do right now, the way that you spend your days, is it fulfilling you, right? Whether you're paid for it or not. Ideally, you're spending your days doing something that you love, that you would do for free, right? I'm not telling you to do it for free, because we all need to be energetically compensated for the work that we do. There's always an exchange that needs to happen. But are you so energized by what you do that you would continue doing it even if you weren't getting paid for it, right? If you won $1 million, $10 million, $150 million, would you still keep doing what you're doing because it brings you joy? That is, something to look at. Definitely look at that life area. Another area is support and adventure. Other Feng Shui practitioners call it helpful people and travel. This area is confusing to some, but really it comes down to being in the right place at the right time with the right people. It's about being in the flow of synchronicity. And you get there because you have support and because you're able to just pick up and be in the right place at the right time. So be in the middle of an adventure and you run into the right people. Or it's also about receiving, right? So if you can't receive support, if it's offered to you and you deflect it away, and then you're prevented, you're taken out of your place of power, really, but not able to be in the place where you could have had this great opportunity, right? You have missed out on being in the flow. And really, it comes back to you that you're not receiving the support that's out there for you, not able to ask for support when you need it. So do you feel supported? And do you feel like, you are fulfilled in adventure, like you are in the magic? When I say adventure, I really feel like it's more in the magic, right? So you're in this flow where great opportunities show up and chances to go on trips show up, and people are in the right place, and you just have joy and synchronicities and magic flowing everywhere, right? If you feel like you're always hitting a roadblock or bumping up against a challenge, this is probably an area that's not very fulfilled for you, or that there are challenges within that you could look at releasing. The third area is creative self-expression. This is also related to children and creativity. This is about the things that bring you joy. Do you have things in your life that bring you joy? For me, my kids bring me joy. They are the ultimate creation. They're certainly an expression of my joy, but there are still other ways that I could find to bring about that feeling of joy personally on my own through other creative endeavors. Relationships, partnerships, and love. This is really about connecting to other people, being in a relationship with somebody else, feeling fulfilled by that relationship, and like you're on equal treading with that person or partner. In work, it could be related to a partner or your community area that you're working within. And if you're not in a relationship, this is all about you and all about yourself and your love and honoring and respecting yourself, and how you honor you and your appreciation of yourself. The same way that you would want your partner to honor and love and appreciate you. Don't sit around waiting for somebody to bring you flowers. Go get some flowers, right? Those kind of things. I would probably hold my breath for a long time waiting for Steve to bring me flowers. That's just not his thing to do. But it is something that brings me joy and fulfillment, and that I like to give to myself, and so I do that. I don't wait for him to do it. Fame and reputation, or your character and your recognition and how you're seen in the world, is number 5. This is about how you're seen in the world. Are you creating a legacy that you want to be known for? How do other people see you, and do they see you in a good light, or as authentic and trusting, or as are there changes that you could make to how you are perceived by others, and how you're this is also something that comes internal, but because you have to believe it yourself. You have to believe that you are worthy of being received well by others, and also show up authentically. Money, right? Finances is number 6. That's a big deal for everybody. Even if you are, financially free and money is flowing to you with ease, there's still a lot of money management and other types of things that you have to be involved in. So how is your relationship with money? Is money flowing freely? Is it a stop and start kind of thing? Is it something that you're constantly struggling with? Is it something that you're so done with struggling with, right? Where are you on that spectrum, and how do you feel in terms of your financial freedom, and what work needs to be done? What would that look like in a perfect world, in your perfect world? What would that look like? It's likely not going to be winning the lottery, right? But think about what it looks like and what it feels like to have lots of money flowing to you easily, in a very clean, refreshing way, not in a way that doesn't feel good, or that feels challenging all the time. Number 8 is your family. No, excuse me, I guess we're on number 7. Number 7 is your family, or your roots and your connections. How are your relationships with all of that? This represents where you've come from, and so it can have a lot of energy around past family history, past even bringing forward some of the limiting beliefs that you've been raised with, carrying those into your future. That family area can be about releasing those energetic cords that you have between you and challenging family members, or between you and family relationships, or even between you and the things that you were brought up with that you don't need to carry forward. Number 8 is all about wisdom and self-knowledge, and cultivating for you what you want to learn and grow in. So this area is related to, education, self-growth, connection to your higher self. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel like you're really connected to your highest potential, and that you're really putting, receiving energy that feels like you're growing and expanding? This is an area that's all about growth and expansion. And for me personally, I always feel better. I feel like I'm a lifelong student. I always want to learn and grow more and expand in that area. So that's an important area for me to put energy into. And last, health, and it's obviously not the least. The health, if you're familiar with the Feng Shui Bagua map, the health area is the center of the Bagua. It's really what all of the other ones lean off of. So it's like the hub of the wheel, so to speak. And so health is so important, right? So how are you taking care of yourself? How are you feeling? What changes can you make health-wise moving forward that will support you and all those other parts of your life better? This is a big area as the new year comes forward, right? Everybody's all like, I'm going to eat so much better when the new year comes, and I'm going to exercise, and I'm going to meditate every day. And you may have tried that 100 times, right? You might have tried it, all right, maybe 40, 50 times, however many years, New Year's we've flipped over. You may have tried it and you may have failed, but I want to reiterate that the energies around us in this year, in this transition from 2019 to 2020, and from this decade into the decade of the 20s, is really supporting you so much more in making a positive transition. For me, for years and years and years, I tried to start a daily meditative practice, and this year it finally fell into place, right? It's finally happening. I can finally say that I meditate daily. I can finally say that I am seeing the ultimate benefits of that daily practice. And I'm not doing, nothing changed. There's nothing different at all, except that I decided it was important and I was worthy of it, and saw the results, as I continued with it. But there has been just this ease of stepping into that. I meditate daily that was never there for me before. And so that to me is proof that there really is this shift happening in this supportive way. I tend to think it's all kind of part of this embracing the feminine that is coming forward, a lot more feminine energy coming in to play as the tables kind of turn in all of our environments, and a little bit of that patriarchy falls away. Women are stepping back into their personal power, which is all about going inside, deep, that yin energy, and reconnecting with yourself and reconnecting with your personal power. And I can say I've done that in that respect, and it has made all the other changes that I want to make so much easier. Like, my work, showing up daily, consistently for work with a clear path for the day. Every day is easier because of that health change to meditate daily that I made. I've made some health changes as far as eating and exercise that all relate back to that one, meditation practice. I think as the energies, not only have the energies helped make it a little bit easier, but my daily practice has helped make the clear path come forward for me personally, right? So energetically all around us, this path is opening up. These vortexes are opening up that create this ease, really almost like a way to fast forward from where you are to where you want to be. If you can just align with that vortex and step into it, you can get there super fast. But also, if you do some inner work as well, to help you align on the inside with what you want, it's a really powerful transition, and even faster and furious. So there is, this is about getting clear. That's my message today, is to get clear. Get clear about what's worked, what hasn't worked, what patterns you want to break, what needs to heal, and then get really clear on what you want all of these 9 life areas to look like for you moving forward. Dream really big into each one of these little areas, big areas, and send a new message out to the universe. Don't just sleepwalk through the next 4 weeks and decide that you have already tried it and it's not worth it. Decide that you are stepping into this energy of potential and you're going to make some big changes moving forward. And as soon as you decide that, the energy starts shifting, right? The universe starts putting different puzzle pieces together to help get you there, because now it has a clear picture of what you really truly want. And it hasn't, and in the past it's been responding to a different kind of energy, your different energy that you were sending out, your different picture of what you were sending out. And now, just by doing this one simple, maybe not so simple, but one task, it's really powerful to help set you up for the future potential. A whole year ahead of you to call in something completely different than what you want. A whole decade of new energies to help you call in what you want. Just look back for a moment and, quickly in your mind's eye, and think about where you were 10 years ago versus where you are now. And think about the difference that could happen, in 10 years' time as well, especially if you're not sleepwalking through it and you're doing it with deliberate intent. I remember in my late 20s, I was still hadn't found the love of my life. And I remember talking to a friend of mine, and she was like, don't worry about it. It could just happen overnight. Just because you're here now without somebody doesn't mean that you won't be here, that person is never coming. It's just a moment in time. This is a moment in time, a snapshot right now, and you're getting a picture for what you want. So, it can change at any moment. The door can open up, and, the love of your life can walk through. She was totally right. I wouldn't have thought in the steps that I was taking at that time that was going to open up the door to, finding the person that I was going to spend the rest of my life with. But that's exactly what happened, right? It didn't look like it in those little daily steps that I was taking, but there it was, right? In the end, looking back on it, oh, she was so right. It just was, just right around the corner. I just couldn't see it at the time. That whole just take the first step, even though you can't see the whole staircase. This is what this is all about. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to get clear on what you want more of, and focus on that. And don't worry about how you're going to get there. That's not the point or the purpose. We really get caught up in the hows and the whys, and the what ifs, right? And focus on the lack, or focus on what all the little tiny things that we need to do to get there and how hard it is to get there. Whereas if we just stepped out of the way and let the universe do its work, it would show up for us effortlessly. I love that word. I think that might be my word of 2020. So I hope I have you thinking about doing a little bit of this practice in the next coming days, weeks. It will be really powerful, I promise you. Have fun with it. It definitely is meant to be light and fun, at least from my perspective, and it will open up potential for you as you do it. I want you to know that today is the last day of my $77 deals on the Prosperity Intensive Program and the Clutter Clearing Challenge. These are programs that I've run in the past, and they are now set up in evergreen format, and you can take them in a self-paced way through today for $77. So that disappears at midnight tonight. Also, the doors are open right now for my Feng Shui Rituals for the New Year program. It actually takes place starting next week, so it launches next week. We're going to do some of this in that program, and then we're going to really work on some activating energies that can call in to help magnify what we're deciding we want and call in the energies faster for us in the coming new year. That the doors are open for that, and that is $197 to join. I'm going to post the links below to those things. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I am going to come back tomorrow because I'm going to give you another step beyond this, something else that you can do now in the coming weeks to help really set yourself up for the coming year. Judy's going to watch this later. Great. I look forward to that, Judy. And Teresa says, great information. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate that you guys are here and listening and creating good things for the future. That is all. Have a great day. I will see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Bye.